In 1979, the Detroit Lions were the worst team in the NFL, but there was a silver lining.
Hi, hello, and welcome to the New York Sheraton Hotel's Grand Ballroom, the site of the 1980 National Football League College Players Draft.
They had the #1 pick in the upcoming draft, and with it, they'd select one of the most electric running backs the league had ever seen. But we're not talking about Barry Sanders. This is the story of the man who came before him, and how he turned a losing franchise into a winner. The Lions actually had a little dynasty going on in the 50s, but since their last championship in 1957, they had become very forgettable. Their win percentage over that period was around 50%, which put them in the middle of all NFL teams. With 7 winning seasons in 20 years and 1 playoff appearance, it hurt to be a Lions fan. Then came 1979, just one more knife to the gut. Their worst record since 1946. The offense was anemic. It ranked 28th of 28. Something needed to change. Luckily for them, the consensus #1 pick was the Heisman Trophy winner, Billy Sims. Before the 1980 season started, head coach Monty Clark told reporters, "We're not a 2-win football team, and we're going to open some eyes this year." The optimism seemed misplaced. Despite an electric college career, Sims hadn't left much of an impression to this point. We were like, he doesn't even look that good. What's so special about him? He never showed anything in any preseason game. Who is this guy? To make matters worse, the Lions were facing the LA Rams in Week 1.
From Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, CBS Sports presents the Detroit Lions versus the Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams were one of the best teams of the 70s. 1980 wouldn't be much different, they finished 11-5. Yet somehow, the 2-14 Lions were up 27-20 early in the 4th. On this play, quarterback Gary Danielson took the snap, almost spins 360 degrees, as Billy Sims takes the handoff and bursts through the gap. With a jolt of acceleration, he outruns the secondary as he high steps his way into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the game. But let's rewind for a sec. This is free safety Nolan Cromwell. He was voted Big 8 Athlete of the Year in 1977. Not only a good football player, he was also excellent at track and field. He was fast and athletic. Yet Sims outruns him without being touched. The Lions sideline erupted, with teammates running into the end zone to celebrate. That completed a day with 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. What were you saying, Gary? It was just one game, but there was something in the air. It just felt like the Lions were set to rise from decades of mediocrity. But one game isn't enough proof. Sims would have to show it again, and fast. In Week 2 against the Packers, late into the 4th quarter, with the Lions comfortably ahead, Sims caught a pass that looked good for 20 yards. Instead, despite the right angle from all these Packers defenders, Sims was simply too fast and strong, as he went for an 87-yard touchdown. And after a Week 3 win, the Lions sat at 3-0. That was not only their best start since 1970, but it was also the best start for a rookie running back to this point in NFL history. Week 4 was equally as impressive. Sims had been wearing down the Vikings defense all game, so by the 4th quarter, down 24-7, they were just ready for the final whistle. But before that could happen, on this play, a nice hole opened up the middle. Sims weaved past diving defenders for his longest run of the day at 52 yards. Detroit had Sims fever. From 1974 to 1979, the Lions had 8 sellout crowds. In 1980 alone, there were 7 sellout crowds. Even his own teammates were getting caught up in the hype.
Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Hey, hey, come out and watch the Detroit Lions that no one seems to beat. Hey, hey, and another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. All right.
The Lions ended up faltering after a 4-0 start, but they still finished 9-7, their first winning record since 1972. So that's a 7-game improvement in one season. Of all 2-win teams in NFL history, that ranks 3rd all-time in single-season turnarounds, measured by a team's gain in win percentage from one year to the next. There's a lot of changes season to season, so that turnaround is not just because of Sims. Their starting quarterback, Gary Danielson, would return and have the best season of his career, but there's no doubt about it. Sims was the piece that helped the Lions begin the turnaround. The individual stats were equally as impressive. He led the league in touchdowns, won Rookie of the Year, and received a Pro Bowl selection. Fast forward just 2 years, and the Lions are in the playoffs. One man had turned this franchise around. Now, am I exaggerating? Could one player really have such an impact? Sims retired, averaging 85 yards per game. That ranks him 8th all-time. But he was also a great receiving back. Ranking him by scrimmage yards per game, he ranks 3rd all-time. So the numbers tell you he was great. The way he ran told you why.
Billy had it all.
Billy had the strength, the size, the great speed, and the running ability, plus the mental and physical toughness. He just was the bigger, the stronger, the faster of all the backs I ever had, so that made him the best.
As his own quarterback said, he was like a little Earl Campbell, a fast Earl Campbell. He punished people. People hated to tackle him. Sims had the speed to outrun defenders, body control to cut on a dime, or if necessary, the power to run through them. If running through them wasn't an option, he would just jump over them. That was on full display on November 13th, 1983.
Oh my goodness, did you see that? He hit Steve Brown with what looked like a karate kick. He leaped into the way. You think he's not ready to play football today. Billy Sims is exploding. Is he excited? Watch this. He'll leap and hit number 24, Steve Brown, with a foot right in the head, right? Bing, right there. It's as though he used his foot as a straight arm. Whew. Brown actually got up and amazing.
Kung Fu Billy Sims was born. Despite missing 3 games in 1983 due to injury, Sims rushed for over 1,000 yards. The Lions went 9-7 and made the playoffs. They faced the 49ers in the divisional round. Sims gashed them for 114 rushing yards on 20 carries and scored 2 touchdowns. The score was 24-23. The Lions were set to kick a 44-yard field goal to win the game, but they missed it. Good old Lions. Sims' own quarterback was doing his darndest to throw the game. He had 5 interceptions, and the Lions still should have won. In the 49ers' 33 playoff games, from 1979 to 1998, these were the top 5 rushing performances by opposing players. You can see Billy Sims is tied 3rd, but if we rank the highest rushers for losing teams, Sims rises to 2nd. Levens has a couple more yards, but he didn't have Brett Favre throwing 5 interceptions. It was a tough loss, but the Lions had just made the playoffs 2 consecutive seasons since the 1950s. Entering 1984, Sims was on pace for another 1,400-yard season, rushing for almost 86 yards a game in his first 8 weeks. The Lions did sit at 3-4, but that was their record the previous year, and they managed to make the playoffs. With Sims, the Lions had faith. But there were 2 things working against him. Number 1, his age. He started playing football in the 10th grade and was 20 his freshman year at Oklahoma. Then, given injuries during his first 3 years of college, he didn't make it to the NFL until 25. Those injuries were in part a result of his bold, attacking style. This is a guy who was likened to Earl Campbell, which says it all really. In Week 8 against the Vikings, Sims would break the club rushing record on his first carry. Then he took another handoff, like he had done 1,130 times to this point. As he cut upfield, Sims' right foot got stuck in the artificial turf, and he was hit high by a Vikings defender. His leg twisted awkwardly, and he collapsed onto the rock-hard turf at the Metrodome. Another victim of that crappy artificial turf. He was hurt, but he thought it was a knee sprain. "I'll be back," he told himself. Almost 2 years would pass. Despite intensive rehabbing, he never made a comeback.
The only guy I've ever seen start a season like that is Gale Sayers.
Gale Sayers. It's a decent comparison. Different types of runners, but both had elite but short peaks. Sayers played for 68 games with 48 total touchdowns and 4,956 rushing yards. Sims played for 60 games, 47 total touchdowns, and 5,106 rushing yards. I'm not trying to argue Sims was equal to Sayers, but there's some interesting parallels. I believe Sims demonstrated Hall of Fame talent in a limited window. But just as quickly as they rose thanks to Sims, they crashed without him. After his injury in Week 8, they went 1-6-1 down the stretch, finishing 4-11-1. For the next 5 years, the Lions would not see a winning record. It could not be clearer how important Sims was to that team. The Lions hit rock bottom in 1988 with a 4-12 record. The silver lining, they got the 3rd overall pick. With it, they selected Barry Sanders. The rest was history, as Sanders went on to carve out his legacy, and the memory of Billy Sims slowly faded.